Big John McCarthy and Josh Thompson react to the possibility of a fight between Alex Pereira and Khamzat Chimaev taking place for the light heavyweight crown and all of the implications. Rumors about the Chechen potentially jumping up another weight class to face Alex Pereira started recently, with no official source having yet made a comment about this. Pereira didn't help with the uncertainty as fans were trying to figure out whether they should or shouldn't get excited for the potential matchup and where the information was coming from when he said that Ankalaev isn't his next opponent. Khamzat has a title shot guaranteed and waiting for him in his own weight class at middleweight. The only thing for him to do would be to wait to find out about the logistics and obviously the opponent after Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland fight their rematch. But the prospect of the UFC going in an entirely different direction as it relates to Chimaev's future and matching him up with Alex Pereira is something that would be difficult not to get excited about as a fan. Big John and Josh share thoughts.
Can Pereira stay off of his back?
Yeah, that's...
I think he had a better chance staying off his back with Ankalaev.
So do I, because Ankalaev doesn't wrestle. Where Chimaev, you know he's going to come out and wrestle.
You know he's going to wrestle.
He's going to shoot that damn double leg from across the cage. Yeah. Can you stop it? Well, that's kind of what is the interesting part. We know exactly where Poatan is strong. We know exactly what he can do. And can he knock Chimaev out? Yeah, absolutely. He can knock Chimaev out. Everyone can get knocked out. But can Alex stop the takedown? And if he does if he can't stop the takedown, does he stop the submission? Because Chimaev is good at going after chokes. He's good at going and doing damage. But if he does survive that and gets back to his feet for another round, where are we at? It's all, see, that's what makes the fight exciting. That's what makes it interesting.
You think this fight will happen?
I actually do. I think
you just told me earlier you didn't think. I didn't say
that.
Soft. You said I don't think it's gonna happen. John, is it gonna happen or not?
I think it is.
Dan Hooker comments on potentially fighting Justin Gathje next. Justin seemingly hinted at this fight actually taking place with a recent post in response to a fan suggesting the Hooker fight would be a perfect Christmas present. "Merry Christmas, you filthy animals," he said, with a thematic meme. When asked about the possibility of a fight with Gaethje taking place, and if any talks have begun about it from the UFC, the Hangman made it sound like this is something that is in progress, and tried to not answer the question directly, instead saying that basically it's too early to say. He's excited about the matchup though, like any fan who understands what level of entertainment a clash between these two would offer. Justin versus Hooker will most likely steal any card the fight will be put on, as stylistically, it is difficult to imagine anything short of carnage once they get locked in the cage and the first exchange of blows happens. In his latest interview, the Hangman talked about the Gaethje fight and his mindset when deciding which fights to take.
I mean, I don't know what you can or can't say, but were you excited that things are trending in the right direction?
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Yeah, like we'll have to wait till it gets like a little bit closer. You know what I mean? You know how these things work. Yeah. Oh, bro, I'll fight anyone. Yeah, ranked above me. That's definitely a fight that bro, you can't tell me that the fans don't want to see that shit. Like, and it makes sense now. It makes sense for everyone involved. But yeah, we'll just have to wait till it gets like a little bit closer like before the UFC just don't match fights that far out. Like, you know how the sport works, things can happen pretty drastically. So yeah, we'll just have to wait until next year before this kind of gets locked in or squared away.
Sean Strickland gets into a fight after another sparring gone wrong. This time, it was against a familiar face for UFC fans. Alexander Shlemenko, a former Bellator fighter and a prominent figure in the Russian MMA space, revealed that Strickland got into a heated altercation with Sharamagomedov following a rough sparring session, at the end of which they didn't want to stop and took it outside the ring of the gym. Speaking with the Russian channel Ushataika, Alexander commented on his experience training with different fighters from various organizations, including the UFC. He is close with UFC middleweight Shara Magomedov and was visiting him in the States recently. Alexander said he connected with some old friends from his times in Bellator and visited multiple gyms accompanied with Shara. Well, one of their stops was Eric Nixick's gym, where Sean Strickland trains. What followed later isn't too difficult to guess at this point. According to Shlemenko, Strickland and Shara agreed to spar, and when Magomedov landed a spinning back fist on Sean at the end of the round, things got out of control, resulting in a little fight and a shouting match. Here's what Alexander said about the incident. Quote, "To be honest, I had heard about Strickland being the type of guy who wants to knock out his sparring partners and never takes it easy. He really has an image of a reckless guy who doesn't care about etiquette. This isn't true. He's a cool cat, and when we were there, I didn't notice anything of that kind. He works hard and rough, but that's how sparring is supposed to be, so everything was fine. He got into a bit of a situation with Shara, but even that is something that isn't too infrequent in our own gyms in Russia. Shara landed a back fist on him at the very end of the round, when fighters usually slow down and get ready to shake hands, so Sean didn't want to stop at that point. They needed to get separated. Both were angry and shouting and stuff, but it didn't take long for them to calm down. But all of that is just normal." End quote. Israel Adesanya talks about his fight with Nasruddin Imavov. The announcement of this bout came as a surprise to the MMA community, as it really almost came out of nowhere. Adesanya will be headlining a fight night card instead of a pay-per-view, and his opponent isn't somebody with a particularly big name, especially for the casual viewers. The event will take place in Saudi Arabia on the 1st of February. Nobody's really complaining though, of course, as not only the bout makes sense considering both fighters' career trajectories after their more recent performances. Imavov hasn't lost since his fight with Sean Strickland. He won 3 in a row, all against top competition, and now gets a chance to introduce himself to the masses as a real threat to the middleweight title. Israel's coming off 2 straight losses, and he needs to answer many questions in his next Octagon appearance, which can be a real crossroads moment for his career. 3rd loss in a row would be devastating, while a victory, no less important, and get him back on track to try to reclaim his title. Here's what Izzy said about the Imavov fight.
I don't know, they just offered it to me and I was like, yeah, sure.
What other names were in the mix?
No, that was the only name that got offered, but Kyle Bohayo, he was looking for a fight as well, and yeah, if they offered him, it would have been like, yeah, sweet. But then Imavov fight came about, and yeah, we're here.
How familiar were you with Imavov before the fight even came about?
I've seen his fights. I know he's dangerous. I know he's slick. I like his style. It's it's not bad footwork. He's
How would you
dangerous.
describe the style?
Very well-rounded. It's not about him, it's about me. Yeah, it's not about him. Even though he's the guy I'm fighting, it's about me. It's about improving.
You writing your story?
Yeah, just writing this chapter. Don't even have to rewrite anything. I love the way things are playing out. But yeah, for me, it's about me and just improving and really showing what I can really do in the full range of mixed martial arts.